Hello and welcome to Critical ReRoll episode 123, where we talk about episode 47 of Critical Role. My name is Dusty, and I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I think underwater battling is cool.
Hi everybody, I'm Kate and I'm here to have a cracking good time.
Hi guys, I'm Jess, and I'm just not as much pun as these other guys.
Ew.
Hey.
Yeah, so I guess with that, we'll jump in to episode 47 of Critical Role, which was all crustaceans and claws and barnacles, I guess.
That's why we gotta jump in, like jumping in the water.
That's true. Gotta dive right in, guys!
We're getting wet in tonight's episode.
Yeah. I mean, basically, it started with them going into that fight, and it was basically the gang goes to Red Lobster. It was like them cracking open shells, and that's most of what I took away from it. I don't know about you guys. Go ahead.
The first half was definitely a seafood buffet.
Yes.
Seafood.
Seafood. But yeah, we had those really cool chull that I mean had so many different ways of sort of like grappling them and tackling them with like claws and
the stream is seeing a picture.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Those joining us on the podcast.
On the audio version of the podcast, come join us sometime for the video version of the podcast.
Where I'm showing a really
this beautiful picture of a chull.
They look so cool. Come hang out with us.
And probably taste really good with lots of butter. That's just a suspicion I have. I have no proof. But yeah, I was really surprised upon looking at the stats for the chull that they have stuff like sense magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that. I've never come across these characters before. I don't know about you guys.
No, but like there are some really cool underwater things, and there's not a lot of chances in like campaigns a lot of the time to see some of these really cool underwater things.
Yeah.
I just love it because there are some really awesome, like just nasty, scary, creepy underwater things, and it's like, just can we have like a long campaign of just like underwater things with tritons and weird deep ocean things, and like I mean, look at our own oceans and the craziness that's in there. In a D&D world, the craziness that could be in an oceans. Also, aboleths. Take a little side minute.
Not appearing in this episode.
Not appearing in this episode. although all of these monsters that we did see are fairly related to aboleths as being minions of aboleths, and the aboleths are just a really cool thing in D&D lore because they were the empires before gods came to the worlds. Like, they had their cities, and then when the gods came, they were thrust down into the oceans, and they still kind of hang out, and they never forget. They're like underwater elephants. Their memory is like perfect and ageless.
Underwater god elephants.
Underwater god elephants.
Really self-absorbed underwater god elephants, because from what I've read of aboleths, it's like they think each of them thinks that individually they are the shit.
Yes.
Like they're very like, I am the
and what's
most powerful,
cool
the
about
most awesome.
them is they don't really die because you kill it and it reforms back in the plane of water, and then it can figure out its way back. But I love them because they just like brainwash people into being like their minions, and yeah, as just said, self-absorbed.
Sir, not appearing in this film.
We talk about them so much. So back to the ones that actually appear in this film. For those of you that missed Dustin's wonderful representation on the video podcast, you can go to D&D Beyond and look up Chul. But also you can look up Deep Scion,
which I'm showing on the stream now.
You were reading up on these guys. Do you want to tell us about them?
Yeah, so they're listed as being kind of like underwater spies. They were originally people who were either snatched off the shore or people who were saved from sinking ships and offered a terrible bargain by an undersea power. So they basically get these abilities to breathe underwater and become this underwater evil aquatic race. They have shape-shifting, so they have a human form, which was kind of cool, and I was expecting to play more into this and was a little
Yeah.
sad that it didn't happen. Um because when you kill one when they're in their Piscean hybrid form, apparently they revert back to what they look like as a human. So if they had a human spy following them who was a deep scion, that they would have shown is that person. And I was kind of really curious to see if Matt was going to do anything with that, but it doesn't look like they did. They
That would
also
have been
have
really cool and messed up to like,
Well, yeah,
as
that-
like they think, oh, we're just fighting monsters. This is nothing, and then they revert to like a human form. Like, do you think the party would have stopped for a moment and thought about it, or they would have been like, meh, and like just kept slaughtering?
I think it would have freaked them out a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that's a really good just as a general RP point
Right.
for like just in a campaign. Like, too bad it wasn't anything, but like Matt could have taken that and
Like, could you imagine what would happen if it was like someone from Ford's old ship?
yeah,
Yeah,
someone
there's no
Ford
place-
recognized. Yeah,
Yeah, because like you said,
Right.
it includes people that were rescued, quote
I was
unquote, on
wondering
sinking
at one
ships.
point if it was going to be Avantika, just because I refused to give that up.
we know.
I know, you know. I thought that would have been really freaking cool
That
and
would have
scary.
been.
And be like, what? Because they have that whole weird mouth thing. They already look weird.
They're very kissable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look at that. Look at that mouth. Look at you could kiss it. It could hug your. He could hug your face.
Oh, yeah.
You
Or
can
they.
hug your face. Do it. Yeah.
If you want a kiss and a hug at the same time of your face and your mouth,
Come,
face hug.
come get a good
We
cug.
gotta-
Come get a good mouth cug.
Mouth cug.
Well.
They also have another really cool feature, which we saw part of with the psychic screech that they did.
Yep.
It apparently not only I just lost it. Not only stuns a creature, but it also telepathically transmits the memories of the Deep Scion for the last 24 hours to its master, regardless of the distance, so long as the master and it are in the same body of water.
So
They're in an
basically
ocean.
the whole ocean.
Yeah, the entire ocean.
So if its master is anywhere in the whole ocean, it knows about the Mighty Nine.
Which is interesting because maybe I'm gonna jump back on this, even though Sir not appearing in this film has not appeared in this film.
Oh no!
But
Oh,
like,
no.
if aboleths are tied to Ukatoa or something like that, like maybe someone else is watching them too. Just so many wonderful things that could be going wrong for the Mighty Nine. It's
much.
It's wonderful.
So many creepy creatures down there in the ocean. But they did not stop Ford.
Did not stop him.
They did not stop Ford, and now 2 of the 3 orbs are in place.
Yeah.
And he has control water.
Yeah.
Ford can finally do the thing.
Yeah. Got that. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think Ford is actually tempted to go put that 3rd one in and see what else could happen?
Not like crazy. Honestly, I think what we saw from Ford, because I mean they talked about it a little bit. He got it. He was like, "Oh, look at this cool, neat power I have now." They talked about a little bit about, and he was like, "Oh no, I'm good for now." Like that was his repeat, like the answer he repeated several times. He's like, "I'm good for now. I'm cool for now." And he talked a little bit. He actually told them a little bit about what he saw, which was he saw Ukatoa straining against his binds, and he was like, I didn't super love that." And I think that goes to show that while Ford is enjoying his new powers and he's enjoying like what he gets from Ukatoa, that doesn't necessarily mean he wants to give up being like the big guy on campus. Like I think he wants as much as he can get without,
Mhm.
directly having to serve a very clearly very evil demigod? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, but here's the thing with like that. I mean, he stopped at 2. That's good. Unfortunately, everything has a price though, and Ukatoa is not going to let him just go. We know that Ukatoa has influence. We know that Ukatoa is searching for other people. He literally just made this really easy for someone else who, I mean, we know there was Avantika. There could be more. We've just made this super easy for someone else to completely free him because he's only down to 1 now in his
Even though
seal.
he has it, that doesn't mean he's gonna get to hold it.
Well,
He can choose to keep
but
it.
there might be other orbs. But I'm just saying the seal
Right.
is down to like one final
One,
thing to
right.
break, and like his influence could be stronger now that the seals are 2 down. Like nothing about this was a safe play just for a special power to control water. No, this is bad news. Bad
Right.
news.
What do you think happens if Ford does die? Like, even if they resurrect him, like, right after, but if he dies, do you think the orb just, like, pops out of him?
just like whoop, like
Right out of his belly.
like,
Right out of his belly button. Boop.
Just rolls away.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it depends. I don't know, because I think that's something that's up to Mercer's discretion. You know what I mean? I think it depends on what would make the most sense for the story at the time. I think if it's like a quick like one and back, like as happens sometimes with higher level D&D people, sometimes you die for like a second and then you like
6 seconds.
and then you come back. I think he'd like let him have it, like let him keep it, no problems, but
Keep it digest.
Wouldn't it be interesting?
keep it down.
Wouldn't it be interesting if Ukatoa has claim on Ford's soul? Like if we did get like the dying thing and a resurrecting thing, and we get him to successfully come back,
Ooh.
Ukatoa like takes some time, like Raven Queen did in the original, in Vox Machina, like to talk and say like, hey, guess what? You're kind of bound to me now. You know, you got stuff you got to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily think Ford is done with this. I think Travis was kind of done with it more
Yeah.
than Ford was.
Yeah.
Just in my personal opinion, which is cool because as actors and as storytellers and as people who've been doing this for years, they kind of know when to spread the story around and share the spotlight.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
because
I'm not convinced this is all Ford saying, "Oh yeah, no, I'm good, we're done, yeah, let's go on." It was more it is Travis.
no, because yeah, like the episode previous to this, Travis did kind of mention as through Ford, like we're kind of been dealing with my story, like maybe some other people, and you can kind of tell that he was like, maybe Travis was like, okay, this is enough of my story for now. I've kind of hogged it a little bit, and that's a normal player thing to be like, oh, I've taken over a bunch.
Yeah, because he made them be pirates for a really long time.
Well, then he even like, so after the battle and we get him out of the thing, he even took some time to like bring out the map later in the episode and be like, so let's take a kind of like a recap of what we know has been happening on the mainland while we've been out playing in the water, and he kind of spread it out for other people to kind of voice some backstory stuff. Which we can get into later.
Yeah. Well, I'm also wondering, because we literally had in this episode, we had Jester do control water at one point, we had Caduceus do control water at one point, and then we had Ford do what I assume was control water at some point. But is that really apparent? Do we know if like, because this is a Matt original situation happening. This is based on, Matt's view and opinion of like it's his world, it's his weird fudged up demigods and stuff. Do you think there's other stuff, like it's not just control water? Do you think there's something else to it? Do you think there's something we haven't seen because we only saw what Avantika physically represented? What do you guys think? Do you think we're gonna like anytime he's like near saltwater? Some new tricks gonna come? Is he gonna start talking to aquatic life? Is he gonna become Aquaman?
Yes.
What's gonna happen?
I think there's more to it. I do.
There's probably, I think there's some more. Like we'll find out more as because
Mhm.
I think Ukatoa's powers are greatened, and I think especially there might be more of a tease from Ukatoa if he notices Ford's kind of like stopped.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be like, "Hey, guess what?" Or maybe it's like in a reverse. Maybe there's a little more control Ukatoa can have on him.
That'd be fun.
Matt is good at, I've noticed in this campaign and in the past campaign, about rewarding players for or giving players as a consequence access to things their classes don't normally have,
Mhm.
other feats and other spell abilities. So I do think there might be a little bit more to this. And we saw it with Kiki last where she got the inspiring leader feat, like
Mhm.
where it wasn't a level up thing that she picked. It was something that the character actually worked towards through RP. So I think that could be fun here with giving Ford access to more stuff via whatever is going on with Ukatoa.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Ukatoa ends up going later in the campaign.
Yeah, it's definitely not finished. This arc is not. He's coming back.
Speaking of which, Vexel Ghost in chat said this will come back to be the Vecna of the campaign, I'd wager. I think that's an interesting point because I do think that like when they were entering into this and they started dealing with this stuff, my thought was very much like, dear God, they're playing with like God level shit and they're still at the low level of stuff. So it does feel like something that they could return to, and it would be a much higher level situation later.
Mhm.
So I do think it makes sense in that way. I don't think it is necessarily the ultimate big bad of the campaign, but I do think it's a good thing for them to step away from for a while, and when they come back to it, they probably will be a higher level situation and they can deal with it better at that time.
Yeah, the released lieutenants are going to be their Chroma Conclave.
And actually, I'm going to go back a little bit since we jumped over to Ford having these powers and discussing his powers a little bit. Just before Ford went and talked to Ukatoa, we had a moment where, we had one hilarious moment where Jester pretended that the Traveler just talks to her instantly every time. She's like, "Hey, Traveler, blah 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 blah," and like, yeah, your god doesn't talk to you like all the time immediately. Pfft, that's boring. Your god sucks. Because Jester always has to take every moment to make sure people know that her god best god. But also we had that moment of Jester prayed to the Traveler, and it turned out she kind of did it out loud because Ford said, "Oh, I'm right here and I heard you." But it was the first time she mentioned Traveler Con out loud. She specifically said, "Hey, Traveler, please help my friend. Talk to like his god because he's gonna help me later to come visit you." And every other time we've heard her talk about this, it was very privately in a room by herself, and it was very much like we as the audience got to know about it, and the other players as like players got to know about it, but their PCs did not. This is the first time it's possible that information is out there. Because I know we've discussed it a little bit before. Like, what do you think everyone else is going to feel about when Jester's like, "Hey guys, I just was thinking we could go to this like event. It's just basically like a concert. My god is throwing a concert. It's like
this party festival.
Let's go to this party, guys. This festival. It's gonna be so good. Traveler Festival 2020. Like, come on, rock on. Yeah. So do you think the group is going to realize they heard this and bring it up to talk about, or do you think no, they're going to have let it pass?
Nope.
I think it's going to be one of those that just kind of gets missed from everything, and then
I
know because it was a good moment.
About it,
well, we may get more. I mean, Jester's kind of being more open with about the Traveler kind of stuff, and we may have another moment like this. I think.
Yeah.
And then maybe someone will pay attention.
Especially with him heading back to Nicodranus and her hopefully going to visit Ruby one more time. Since Ruby and her have been in communication, and Ruby's like, "Yeah, no, it's okay." They're all still fretting about going back, but whatever.
They're not as wanted as they think they are.
Isn't that always the way, though?
That's I mean, that's the thing. Like Matt had said, like they don't know who you are. They're still trying to figure out, like, when they had, like, snuck back in, like, right after they left.
They're
You
gonna
know.
draw more attention to themselves trying to be sneaky
Yeah.
than if they just walked right in.
Yeah, they're gonna, like, why are you guys... I don't even know you from, like,
As
Adam.
the other boat stealers that happened the other day.
Yeah, like,
or
we just, like...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not...
Anyway, so
Yeah.
I think she might reveal a little bit more in conversation with her mom. So it's one of those things like, let's put a pin in it and see what happens.
Yeah.
Because
What do
they
you guys?
are heading back.
Yeah, they are heading back. And then we have opportunity for a few things because I mean, a few people discussed what they were thinking. We had like, I feel like Caleb went around and talked to a few people. It's like, hey, you, what are you doing? How are you feeling about stuff? Like Caleb talked to Caduceus a little bit. Caleb talked to not a little bit. Like, do you want to go back and see your people? And that was a cute moment because we had not saying like, oh, I don't give a shit about my tribe, but there's this little halfling friend I have, and I kind of want to go see how he is doing. Do you think? Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I just like I liked the moment where they kind of let everyone kind of have a little talk and stuff, and I liked how Not was like very like, well, I don't care about my family, like but like she didn't really like come out and like say it for a while. She very like danced around it, like, well, no, there's just this person that I really want to see if we do happen to go through there, and remembering that her talk about that halfling and helping him escape and all that was such great. And I hope we get some Not stuff. I really
think
want
we
some
are.
Not stuff
I think we are.
because we haven't had a lot of it, and I'd really like
think
to
it's
know more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna happen, especially. And again, it's one of those things that Matt seems to be doing pretty well with weaving in the threads.
Mhm.
And he could have picked anywhere, and he picked Felderwind for this to happen. So kind of giving them that excuse to follow that thread.
Yeah, because there's a lot we just don't know about Not.
Yeah, there's a lot, and there's a lot that could be that we do know that could be slightly skewed from the way she talks about things. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people have proposed a variety of mysterious scenarios, even just in chat now. King Sundu said is not married. Like that's something we don't know. Like we don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know about her like family life so much. The only thing that she's revealed that seems very, very genuine is her affection for this halfling fellow, and we don't even know if he's okay. Do you guys think that like Matt is gonna pull a situation where they're like finally they head back there, finally they get to go, and like that town that lived near this goblin village is just gone, like it's just burnt down or something like that?
That would be
How much do you think that is
awful.
likely?
Oh no! No, I didn't even think that.
Oh,
That would
I
be
guess I shouldn't have said it out loud. I'm sorry. I was just saying how much anyways, we'll say happy things are gonna happen for Not. Only happy things for Not. Jumping back to the other discussions that happened, we had Ford talking to Bo. We got some Bo backstory. And we had, we got a little bit info about how like Bo said she wanted to. Oh, sorry. Ford asked if don't you want to go back? Don't you want to check on like your peeps, like your family? Do you want to head back that way? And she was like, not really. While I was away, at the academy. Where was the monastery?
Mm-hmm.
She got a letter from her family that said, we made a new kid. We're good. Don't worry about coming back here. Yeah, so and then we had the moment of I think someone actually sent in a question
so I was gonna bring that up.
Go ahead.
So one of the questions we got, we have a form, a Google form that you can that we post usually right after the week's episode, and you can send us questions or comments or give us discussion topics. And this one, they didn't leave their name, which is perfectly fine. You could do that. But this kind of relates to this. What does the Ford cast make of Ford's encouraging empathy and concern in Bo for her baby brother?
So surprise, Bo has a baby brother.
Oh well, yeah, we learned that in the backstory.
Yes.
That Travis as Ford kind of sets up Bo to give some talking points, and Bo gives us all that wonderful family stuff. My personal, like, this was kind of more of a Travis trying to get some other people to talk about their stories, but I think Ford kind of has, because Ford and Bo kind of have this captain first mate relationship going, and they've kind of, before that, they had their kind of a budding Ford teaching Bo to be a little less abrasive and maybe a little nicer, so that she doesn't always end up in manacles or something like that. But I think Ford had some genuine concern. I mean, or like had some general interest in encouraging like a little bit of empathy from, because Bo is very much over her family stuff.
Yeah, and I think that comes in part from Ford's backstory with what we know of Ford's backstory, I should say, because it's another one that's kind of, well, what do we really know and how much of it is true about being an orphan, where he didn't have a family. So, yeah,
Sorry.
Backstory,
quote unquote. We're doing finger quotes for everyone that's in the audio podcast. Backstory.
That he didn't have a family, so I think he sees those kind of familiar connections as a little bit more important than others might.
Yeah, I think he rates that kind of connection, because I mean, look how long he's going searching for Vandrin. That was sort of like a father figure to him. Like he doesn't understand, and I don't think he thinks I don't think he thinks that it's fair for Bo to be that way towards family, because he holds family in a very dear place.
Especially toward an innocent who didn't do anything.
Yeah, right.
Where it's different, where it's like, okay, well, your parents, messed up with this fact, but here's a kid who hasn't done anything except be born.
Yeah.
Like, what can you hold against him?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it comes twofold, whether it be through family or the idea of protecting an innocent.
Yep. DC by nature said even psychopaths can love their family, therefore leaving room open for the Ford is evil camp and still leaving some
Ford's a good dude.
I mean, you could be a good dude but also have evil intentions towards some things, I think. I mean, people are complex.
Yeah, you can have started as a very good dude. You could have been a sweet, innocent orphan and, grown up very polite, worked on boats and been a good hard worker, and then you fucking died and got resurrected by, like, an evil fucking patron, and then what are you gonna do when they're constantly showing you dreams in your head of, like, power and corruption?
It happens! Look at Percy!
So this also kind of plays into another question that we got from Anonymous. How old do we think Bo's brother is now?
I think he would be
young. I think, because I don't think because that was while she was training.
Yeah.
And I think that's, before she met up with them. So, like, and we don't really know the time frame between what she was out doing.
I would probably put him, like, at 6 max.
Yeah, I didn't think he was anything older than that, probably.
Yeah, same. I was 200% thinking like 4 years old, maybe.
I'm like 3, 4 is my guess, but I feel like it could be up to 6, maybe depending on timelines. Because we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know the exact timeline. We just know, like you said, that it was while she was at the monastery, and it's not like this group, while in our time have been together a year. They've not been together that long in their timeline.
Nope, it's always helpful. Someone should make a website that just deals with the campaign in, like, how much time has actually progressed. I mean, I know Crit Roll Stats has it, but like
an actual calendar.
Just like
Somebody make
just a timeline. Just a timeline. I mean, we've gotten some hints, and now that we have a calendar, the Tal'Dorei guide gives us a calendar. We can sort of kind of figure that out.
Okay, so then in the same boat.
I
didn't mean to do that. That's what I paused. I was like, damn it. What do you guys think of, like, how much do you think Bo was convinced
to go back and
just in general by what Ford was saying? Ford was give the kid a chance. Like,
I don't know if he convinced her, but I think he definitely opened her mind more to a different aspect of it than she was just focusing on. I think it opened the door.
Yeah, I don't think it made any drastic changes right off the bat, but I think she did, because she tends to take what Ford says a little more to heart than anyone else that tells her to do something. Because she's very much no one tells her what to do. or how to think. She's very independent of that. But I think she kind of has a little bit of this mentorship kind of going with Ford, and I think that, yeah, like Kate says, I think a door has opened, but whether she's chosen to step through it yet or not is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe as they go on, maybe that will eat at her a little bit, but I don't know. Like,
especially once they get back to the Empire, if they're going through Photowind, if they're going through Zadash, you know, like,
yeah,
we're this close, we might as well just stop in. And
I think
you know, my family has some good wine. Maybe we should go check that out. Not, do you want some wine? You know,
I think maybe seeing some impact of what the war is doing might bring up something, but I don't know because Bo is very done with her family. I mean, that takes like people who make that decision. There's not a lot you can do to get them to look at it the other way. Like once,
except this is D&D, so you really can kind of be like, hey, something's going on. You can check it out.
I mean, this is obviously everything we do here is just crazy over conjecture and things like that. But like, I mean, if Marish is playing her in that way, like.
Yeah.
But then, you know, that's a good opportunity to get some character involvement. And I think maybe when Marisha is shown by Matt what the war is doing, maybe Marisha will decide, okay, Bo might take this character progression into like this other direction because like her brother is innocent, and I think that she may think on that the more as they go on through, and then like, okay, let's. Maybe especially if we get into like Knott's backstory before we get to Bo's stuff, we may see some stuff that maybe might trigger.
Yeah.
Because as much as Knott is an adult for a goblin, a lot of the times they still treat her like she's a child.
It's true.
And I think there might be some interesting things to play off of that, maybe.
I want that so badly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's interesting because, like you're saying, if we have Knott's story first, if we get to see her relationship with, you know, her clan, I guess it's a little different. We might see like something that was even worse than what happened to Bo, right? Like we might see like, well, these guys fucking try to kill her and murder her best friend, and like, who knows? But also, I think perhaps some of Bo's willingness to, like you said, open her mind about considering her brother as an actual family member as opposed to writing him off immediately might have come from you know, Ford pointing out that he's an innocent in this, and that he's like, what if like your brother gets a shit end of the stick too from your crappy parents, you know what I mean? Maybe like even pitting her against the parents with the brother,
which David Rosgofty in chat brought up, like, odds of Bo pulling a Raising Arizona with her younger brother, getting him away from the influence of her parents. I mean, I'd watch that. Her going in and like, hey guys, guess what? We have a baby. It's the Mighty Nine and a little baby. It's the Mighty Nine.
Please no.
They couldn't take care of the bird.
They couldn't take care of one of the three pets well. They're really like 0 for 3. I feel like,
you know, maybe the Cobalt Soul could. Maybe she thinks that, you know, the Cobalt Soul would take better. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. That's a crazy thing to do.
Send the baby to Caliana and.
Oh, I bet Caliana would take a good care of a baby. She would be so good.
But Caliana's on a quest of her own.
Yeah.
Caliana is on a mission to stop that evil cult. So, like, there's no one they know that isn't really busy with dangerous shit, basically.
Orly, have this child.
Oh, God, they just dropped a boat on poor Orly. Orly's like, they're like, hey, Orly, do you want this boat? Yeah.
That was.
Hey, Orly, you want this boat? Okay, Orly, you're getting this boat. Okay, I guess.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing too. Them deciding to give the Orly like, oh, we're going into the town. We got to get rid of our boat.
It makes sense.
It does make sense. I mean, like, yeah, we're going back to the Empire. We got to do something with this boat, like get rid of it. But like, I like the deal they did strike with him.
I'm surprised that they didn't bargain a tattoo out of giving him this
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That would have
ship. Or
been.
try to. I don't think it would have worked, but I'm
He
surprised
definitely
that they
didn't want
try to
it
work.
though. Like,
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, we'll give you this boat if you give me a tattoo. I don't want to do either of those
yeah,
things.
that's no. Like, you give me the money. I don't need the boat. I could get jobs. I'm a navigator. That's literally what I do. Like, I don't captain things because he seems like he's that very like low key. I don't want to be in charge of things. Just let me sail the seas, give people tattoos. Yeah, and that's I was trying to segue into that too.
Go for it.
I think King Sundu
Yes.
gave us the question. And so the question is, how likely do you think that the Mighty Nine, when they reach level 20, arrive back to the coast and find that Orly has turned the Balleater into a hugely successful shipping company?
I love it.
It's like the Hudson Bay, the ball-eating trading company.
He's for sure changing the name.
Oh, for 100%, we'll change the name. 100%.
But I like it, and I like it because it's our character.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Everybody keep forgetting, like, Orly is ours.
Yeah, Orly is ours.
That's
Orly
true.
is the.
It's the really trading company.
Right. It's the community created character. So I
Orly?
would think it would be really fun to see if Matt does something with that character as we advance, and kind of be like, hey, yeah, no, here you go, guys. We love you. Here's your self-insert for the campaign.
I would just love like monthly letters of Orly just sending them to the Mighty Nine where they just get updates of what's been going on with the new shipping company.
Yeah. I would love to see Orly just sitting back, relaxing, sipping on drinks, and like just like really enjoying.
I bet Orly would be a Jimmy Buffett fan.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, he's my kind of guy.
Oh my god, Chinskar in chat said the shell beater? Can we just keep changing the name ever so slightly?
Yes.
It's like they can create their own shell company. It's great.
But
yeah, awful. I'll leave right now. Okay, bye guys.
No, come back.
You're running the stream. Come back.
Yeah, we need to. We had a few comments in chat. Arsqueef and King Sundu said all the crew are going to be dead before they hit the land anyway. And Sundu said we have to pay the crew if they make it to shore. So that brings up the super fun moments. I'm not sure if someone asked this question or not, but I've seen it like passed around a lot. All of Ford's talk on several occasions in this last session, Ford just let slip some very evil thoughts. And then, pulled him back in, just like reined it on back in. How much of that?
Not sure if Ford or Travis.
Yeah.
It's very hard to tell the difference sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was
evil. Sorry, my evil is showing. Sorry, excuse me. Let me just tuck it back down.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean that. Sorry, let's close that jacket, zip that up. That's no.
Majoridian slip. No, guys. Yes.
Yeah, I love how everyone in chat, for those of you on an audio podcast, are now doing Ford spellings of Freudian. It's the best.
It's now Fajordian, guys.
Fajordian slips.
Fajordian slips. That's what you call it when you're an actually evil person pretending to be a nice person, pretending to be just jokingly evil.
And your accent changes.
And your voice changes all the time, and you are not to be trusted.
We don't trust you, Ford. So you prove me wrong.
I agree that it was probably mostly just Travis, but at the same...
But it's, it got called out in character, because Orly caught it.
At the same time, it's technically like canon stuff now, and I think it's really fun and interesting to explore, like I said, the thought of, Ford having been this wonderfully polite, shy, brought up as an orphan character who is now dealing with having a very evil, seemingly very evil patron. How do you not go kind of corrupted to that. Let's kill all the kids. Haha, just joking. Like stuff like ha ha ha. What? That's those things came out of he proposed murdering his whole crew. That's something he said. And I can't help but feel like there's some like him even playing at it is kind of teasing us, like putting it out there for people to like grab on a little bit. I can't help but feel like that's a thing. I don't know.
Well, we'll see what they do once they get back, because we're going back to dry land.
We
And
are.
Before
And
we
they made it.
Yeah, before we talk about the last couple things that happened before they got back, and then we have some time to, I think, conjecture about the future, and then maybe hit up that last question, because that'll be a nice, fun ending.
Okay.
Let's rush through really quick that they are leaving the ocean seas while they are fucking badass pirates, because they fucking just took out a ship like that.
Oh yeah, that was
And it was
fucking crazy.
And I love that it was. Because if you do check out Unearthed Arcana, they have some really nice like rules for like ship battling, and Matt kind of tweaked with him a little bit, and he was so excited, and like Marisha even cried when he was handing out the paper. She was so excited about it, and then Caduce is just tidal waves the ship, and it's just completely gone. We get to see another tabaxi on the ocean. It was just a fun little thing where it was like. It was so hyped up. They passed out the things. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a ship battle. And then capsized and just done and over with, which just brings up the wonderful thing. You can never prepare for anything in D&D.
I was actually surprised it was a tabaxi on the ship.
Yeah, me too.
Because Cat on the Water was like, what?
Don't stereotype, guys.
Apparently I did, and I apologize to all cats. Tell Bagheera I'm sorry.
Also, I definitely didn't think it was just random pirates. I was sitting there going, "Oh my god, it's Vera! Oh my god, it's Allison!
Yeah, I thought it was
this one! Oh my god, it's the Blind King! Oh my god!" Yeah, no.
But yeah, it was just some poor,
just some
poor pirates who would,
wrong place.
who on first impression of the Mighty Nine were just like, yeah, just leave us on this island. We're fine.
Please don't take us there. Please leave us behind.
That was crazy. Matt slowing up a piece of paper. .gif. Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally said out loud, "Sorry, Mike Merles."
Yeah. I was gonna test these, but
I was gonna test your stuff on the air. Nope.
Oh,
it's gone now. Yeah, and it's so like you said, it's amazing because like there were entire rules. They were handed out rolls for their ship, and like.
And then they murdered 14 people.
They murdered 2/3 of the crew.
Because the Mighty Nine are morally ambiguous.
That's being very generous. Yeah, that was... And like, even after they had capsized it, Not was asking if she could please. She's like, let me shoot them. And Ford was like, oh, they can go if they can survive this barrage. Like, what the fuck?
Oh.
And also Matt, like Mercer even pointed out, he was like, man, I kept like wondering when I could fit it in. Like, oh, not here. Oh, not here. Oh, not here. He was waiting so long to get to do this.
Yeah, basically like the entire And I just love their faces when he did drop, like when that captain did mention like, oh yeah, there were 14 others, but they're and like I think everyone's like, oh, we just murdered people. Right. We keep forgetting every episode that actions have consequences. Whoops. Let's go back to the mainland.
Okay, bye guys. We're no longer pirates anymore.
I mean, not aquatic-based pirates. Sure. Oh, and when they had a moment where they were like, "Do you guys think these are the same marauders that used to like get us on land?"
I wanted that to be.
We're away from those evil folks that kept we changed jobs. We like went out to sea.
I want them to show up. I just love that. I want it to be like the My Cabbages of this campaign. I just want them to show up again.
I hope they become like a traveling troupe of bards now.
Yeah, I want them to show up as like
They
a
just, like,
different
keep counting.
lifestyle, but just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you guys.
Ah! Ah!
Yeah. Time to be sky pirates, says Rizkofti in chat. They're just gonna switch up what they're doing. And Chinskar pointed out that Caleb said, well, who attacks a ship after seeing them like control water a bunch? Like who
Yeah.
like cause like Ford had just been testing his powers and like making water sprouts and like
Didn't the temple also do the water?
The temple did the big
Yeah.
water spout too. Yeah,
There was
like
a huge water spout.
it's just
the
it's just
control water.
weird shit happens with water in this area.
look, you spend a little too much time in the sun, you don't make great choices, and that's
True.
that's what happened. Like you
Start
get a little
hallucinating.
sun drunk, little burnt, little fried.
Hallucinations are
Yeah.
not fun.
Yeah.
Some hallucinations, no.
So they're heading back,
Mhm.
and we get a little bit of some RP. We get a little Caduceus.
Caduceus, my boy.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
yeah,
he had
that
been
was so good.
he had been planning that so long
He had to have been. He had to have been planning that
because he
Oh my
was
God.
growing. Like he'd been playing with that fruit. I'm just like, and like I realized it now on the like rewatching. Like he made a couple mentions of Vandrin. He's like Vandrin, yeah, okay, Vandrin, yeah, okay. Like before any of even before this, he's like, yeah, okay, Vandrin sounds like a cool guy. Like what are you doing, Caduceus? What are you doing? Oh, we did. I did also like to mention that we did get what we wanted to happen last time we talked. Not you guys, but that book about corruption and stuff did get mentioned. Caleb did
Yes.
mention it to
Yes.
Caduceus, which would be
Yes.
fun because that might give us some opening to get some backstory with Caduceus too, which I'm super excited. I want more of his family members. I want him to meet. Like I want to see the whole Caduceus family line. Like
Yeah.
I bet every single one of those
Yeah.
is a fun time.
And just the I would tune in just for a Caduceus reading that book about the corruption of plants. Like
We
I'm in
Dusty's
it.
having a light bulb.
This just happened in my brain. So
Just have an apostrophe.
Taliesin, Percival, huge family, all dead. Caduceus, Taliesin, huge family, all
Lives
dead.
with the dead.
Lives with, but like he's also got a huge family, and like maybe we can meet some like, because I
Someone who's
bet
not a
Taliesin.
captive of vampires.
Yes,
Which
maybe they're a
of
captive of
these
some
many
like.
friends did he base these characters off of?
Yeah, right.
You're my new sibling.
I know that wasn't a big thing, but I just thought about like, oh, he's got another character with a huge family. But yeah. So he crawls up to did he go up to the crow's nest? Is that where he went?
Yeah. He eats mushrooms. He casts divination, which I think was the first time he's done that, right? We haven't seen him cast divination before.
I think he did it one other time, didn't he? No, not divination.
Yes. No,
Well,
I think he did divination once.
Well,
like-
divination, you get one question.
Yeah.
Right, but he tried to talk to the Wild Mother a couple of times.
I
But
thought
just
he-
in a general sense.
I thought he
not
did
like-
I think he
divination
did
once
cast divination once.
to get like it might like
Once
I think
before.
it was like right after the boat hijacking. I thought he
Yep.
cast it then to be like, am I doing the right thing or something like that?
Right.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right. You're right.
But
Exactly,
of all
you're
the
right.
questions he was going to, that was
Oh,
not
it was
the question
so,
I
I
was
was
Not
not
expecting.
at
expecting
all.
that. It was so good.
I
It
was
so
expecting
good.
like, hey, are they going to come and kill us as soon as we step onto
Yeah.
land? You know, that kind of thing, and like
Yeah.
maybe or
And-
is Felderwind still under attack? You know, like
Yeah.
well, where's the army so we know to avoid
Mhm.
that? You know, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Nope.
And
Yeah.
so we get
the wording
this.
of the question.
Oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead. No, go.
I was just gonna say the wording of the question was, I wonder what Vandrin is doing right now. How more casual can you be? Asking such a ridiculously like important to one of your other characters' backstories question. Like, how casual?
Yeah.
Oh, just hey, Wild Mother, how you doing? How's it
Hey,
going?
Mama.
Hey, Mama. I was just wondering, how's Vandrin doing? What's he up to?
And
I
the response ties into a question that we got in the forums. So, Vandrin's alive and making amends. How about that?
Yeah, the response was staying out of sight, making amends. Which
It's Ford. It's Ford.
Would you call
Everyone is Ford. Ford is a
amends?
Ford is.
Ford is a metaphor?
He was messing around with all the Avantika stuff beforehand.
Did you just say Ford is a metaphor?
He's a merfolk for Jord. We were trying to come up with what he was in the beginning. We are like, well, what's the other half if he's half orc? What's the other half?
Still said it's not Yuan Ti, but
Ford is everything.
Yeah.
He's everyone and everything. The Ford was inside us all along.
it's Ford's all the way down.
Ford is not out of sight, no Chinskar, but Vandrin is out of sight as Ford.
So,
What? No! This is like fucking Inception. I can't deal with it. It hurts my brain. What are you doing to me, Kate?
No, because he already talks like Vandrin. He already has Vandrin's voice.
I mean, that's true, because he did
Jester
say...
called him out on that. She's like, why are you talking like
Yeah,
him?
and then just before he put the sword in this episode, he did say, well, let's see what this is like. And that wasn't his... That was his voice, not Ford or Vandrin's voice.
Not Ford's voice. He's really Vandrin. Yeah. It's all good.
So what is he staying out of sight and making amends for? Is it like what Avantika was saying, where she's like, he wasn't strong enough and he stopped trying to do what a Gatoa wanted? So is it just he was like, oh shit, I'm in a crazy cult and I need to like get out, and like he's now making amends for that, or like what?
I think so. It'd be interesting because we don't really know what Ford was doing on that vote. He talks about Vandrin a lot, but like, what was their main like? I mean, because I can't believe anything Ford says at all. So like, were they just shipping, or were they? Yeah, spice traders.
Spice.
It's like, I'm just a smuggler, you know.
They're just Han Soloing up. It's fine.
Yeah,
Fly
right.
Casual. It's all good here.
Now I just want a flashback of Vandrin telling Ford to sail casual. Anyway.
I don't know. Sail casual.
Star Wars is the best. Yeah.
Did you want to finish off with that last question?
I think so.
Unless there was anything else anyone? I think that was most of it.
No, I
think we
got
some magic items.
We did get some
we got some leather. Well, because Caleb rolled, or Liam rolled really high on his investigation and found a lot of stuff. They did get some...
Like 5 or 6 items.
Yeah.
He got the lucky rock, the bauble that lit up and floated.
Drift globe, probably.
Potion, which Ford got offended by when he offered it to him, and then Jester went and picked Ford up.
Yeah.
Jester's fucking
it's okay, Ford.
It's okay, Ford, because she's strong as heck.
The really cool jade item.
The jade item.
The
Insta
tree.
That turns into a tree. And not just, guys.
Yeah.
Giant
60-foot tree, I had to like double check, is like almost 20 meters. That's a bonkers. I literally design and put in trees into spaces for a living. That's a big tree. That's not a small tree. That's
a big tree.
Depending on the species, that's like a 200-year-old tree. To have that in an instant, can I please have that power? Because I could really use it.
Yeah, I like, at the minute they said that, I was like, oh, I want that item. And then the second thing I thought was like, oh, I bet Jess really wants that item.
I want that item. I could really use that. Listen, I'm gonna like Lorax up some spaces.
Yes, all the trees.
All the trees. But then they also had the armor that looks like anything you want and is a +1 leather-studded armor. And like,
I do love that
Bo
armor.
is pissed because she's like, I'm the only one that can't like illusion base myself. Why can't I have?
But like,
thing?
most
of the people can do it already.
And I was kind of like mildly like just like annoyed because like, yeah, they can change their shape, but that could be like perceived to be not real. Like, glamored armor is just awesome because you could just literally come up with outfits, and I feel like it would be really great in the hands of Jester to just make pretty dresses and fun things that are real that won't be detected. Right? Like, I just kept picturing like floof, floof.
Yeah, as someone who played a character who liked to go to fancy dress occasions, having glamored armor would really help to the fact, because having to not wear armor when you're in pretty clothes in situations that you're definitely going to end up fighting something because you're in a large crowd of people, would have been very helpful.
Yeah, like I just love glamoured armor just because, like, the fun thing is like you don't get stagnated in your outfit. You could just always like class it up, or
Yeah.
and then it's not something that people could be like, oh, that's fake. My hand went through it. Like that's not real, because it's real. Yeah.
That's super cool. Those were super cool items. Speaking of super cool items, Dustin.
So I think we've discussed everything. So I think we're gonna end. I think we're gonna end with a fun question. Chat, you can participate in this too, but I'm gonna ask this.
I think it'd be fun if we put this one up on Twitter too.
We definitely
Yeah,
will. We'll put
do
this
it
up on
afterwards.
Twitter after this.
Yeah.
Chat, feel free to answer this too. I'm gonna ask my co-hosts here first. So here's the scene. You are captured by Captain Tusktooth's mighty Balleater and are faced by one destiny-defining question. Where do you want your tattoo? Jess.
No, Kate, you go first.
Okay,
'cause
go
you
first.
actually had an answer, and
I
I
actually
don't.
have an answer to this. In the immortal words of my 90-year-old grandmother, when asked if she would ever get a tattoo, her answer was yes on my ass.
That's so classic. Thanks, Kate's nanny.
Thanks, Therese.
So if it's me being caught by Tusktooth, I think I would do something with this real estate.
Nice.
Really?
I like
Yeah.
For everyone on the audio podcast, Dustin is indicating his whole head.
Well, because I am
Like-
balding podcast. If you didn't know that, I have a lot of extra space up here, and maybe some neat little designs like a la Grog or something like that would
Could
be
they,
fun.
like, pay you for
But also,
sponsorship?
I would also just take the Tusktooth smiley face up there.
But you know, some sponsorship real estate.
Yeah, like NASCAR for my head.
Making deals with Gilmore, and we're supposed to wear his
Oh,
brand
yeah.
around. Like you could wear Tusktooth.
I don't. Gilmore is passe, like
Right,
old
you want
news with me.
Tusktooth.
I want Pumat Soul stuff. I want the Vagrant all over this head. Just invulnerable me.
Can you please do that for the live show? Can you just draw Tusktooth on your head?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
God.
happening.
Oh god.
That will be my cosplay for the live show. Jess, practice.
Hey, that's fine. I'll do it for you, but I am not artistic, so it's gonna look like butt. So
Oh.
it's gonna look like Jester rolled a nat 1.
You have a week
but
to
that's
practice.
fine. Okay.
Eyeliner?
I
Or
don't
Crayola
own
mark.
eyeliner. I don't own makeup, so this is not gonna go well. We had some good comments in chat. Vashta apparently just got a tattoo on one leg, so they said they would like this new tattoo on the other leg.
Oh, nice. Symmetry's
So
good.
That's nice. Very symmetrical. Dizzy by Nature said on their finger. Never Winter Fools said on the knuckles. So that's cool. Would it go like one thing per knuckle? Would it be like, would you get some like writing? Like
I tusk.
would you get like ball eat? Like I'm trying to 2 sets of 3, 2 sets of like 4 letters. Ball eats.
Ball eats.
Ball eats. I think I would put it like in under my armpit right here.
Oh.
Oh,
Like,
oh, that would hurt so bad.
no one would see it unless you really wanted them to. Like no one's seeing that thing until you're like.
And then one day you get like caught and you're like put in the stockades and everyone's like,
and they're
like-
like, what the fuck is that? And you're like, yeah, that's right. You should let me go.
Now I'm
'cause
trying to
that's
draw it
an
on my
important-
fingers.
That's an important.
Like I totally just.
oh,
dang.
that's cute.
That's
For the
adorable!
podcast, she just drew a Tusktooth smiley face on her fingers.
That's actually freaking adorable. Oh, so that's a good one then. Like inside, do it in a way that you do it like the classic
On the
mouth
mouth.
hand.
Oh, that would be good. Mouth hand puppet.
So, yeah, do it so it's on your sort of thumb going
I like
across
that
the pointer
one.
finger knuckle, so that you could be like yum 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 yum.
Tusktooth.
I have a Tusktooth. That'd be pretty great. I feel like that's very in the spirit of the tattoo. I think that's good. Oh, someone said just on their middle finger so that they could flip people off. That's a good one.
I like it. Good answers.
Good answers, guys.
Like that.
Yeah!
I love that we're all drawing on ourselves now.
Yep.
Dustin, do it on your head.
No,
Not right now.
not right now. I have to go to work tomorrow.
I was gonna say that.
I don't want to have to Yeah, this is gonna not come off. I'm gonna have to. So I'm not gonna explain that.
So that was the episode, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, next week we'll see them back in Nicodranus to find out that they're really not as hot as they think they are. And
see if they might get their puppy back.
The puppy, see Mama Jester.
Mama.
And maybe figure out a way to get back up north, which should be a fun time. Once again, everyone, thank you for hanging out in chat. Thank you for listening to this. If you're listening to this in the audio version, remember that we do have forums. Follow us on @CriticalReRoll on Twitter. Obviously, twitch.tv/CriticalReRoll here. If you're listening to the podcast and you want to come join us, we do stream every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And I have been Dustin and GeoNerd on Twitter.
I am Kate and at CMonster on Twitter.
I'm Jess at go_JG on Twitter. And y'all are awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah, like, subscribe, and rate us real good, and we love you. Bye!
Yeah, smash that like button or whatever
Smash it.
Push all the buttons. Push our buttons.
Push the things. Do this. Yeah, push our buttons, guys.
Watch
Bye.
out for the deep scions.
This thing's not working like I wanted it to. That's weird. It's supposed to replay it when I do it.